cell numbers, Judge. The 355 is the one we're getting feedback from, or noise.
355, can you put yourself on mute? What was his name, Mr. Rivera? Mr. Rivera, put yourself on mute, please.
Or noise.
355, can you put yourself? Okay, Mr. Rivera, 355, are you there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sir, can you put yourself on mute? Do you know how to do that?
I'm trying.
Okay, sir, let's see if you can, do you have somebody?
Francisco.
Who is Jaime's phone? Follow a Jaime's phone, Rick, okay?
Okay.
Jaime's phone. I
It
think,
might be Jaime Olivas, Judge.
okay. Alfredo Kraft, yeah, it is Mr. Olivas.
Yes, it is, Mr. Olivas.
Alfredo Kraft, is he a defendant?
Yes, Judge, he is. That's Mr. Olivas' client.
I'm letting Mr. Kraft in as well, okay. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we are on YouTube Live. I want everybody to know that the date is June the 17th, 2020, 01 p.m. We are in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic, and the Texas Supreme Court has allowed us to participate and have hearings via Zoom and YouTube Live. If there's anyone out there that has any objections to Zoom via or YouTube Live or its limitations, I want you to tell me right now that you have an objection, please. Let the record reflect that there are no objections. I want everybody participating to know that Ms. Rebecca Macias is my court reporter. She's participating in this Zoom hearing, as well as Ms. Rebecca Gonzalez, that is my court coordinator, and Mr. Rick Salazar, who's my bailiff. I don't know why, Mr. Rick, I never ever identified you, but I decided to identify you today.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rick Salazar is my bailiff. He's participating as well. He makes sure that those that are allowed and enter into this Zoom hearing should be here. And I thank you for that, Mr. Rick. Now, with that being said, there's absolutely going to be no recordings of this proceeding. The only recording and the only one that is allowed to record is my court reporter. She's the official court reporter record. She holds the court reporter record of this court. No one else is allowed to record. If anyone wants to utilize the chat option on the bottom of your options bar or the breakout room, please ask for permission and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Now, is there anyone here that doesn't understand that does not understand those instructions or does not wish to proceed with Zoom or YouTube Live? And if you have any objections, you need to verbalize that right now as well. Let the record reflect there is no objections. We are going to proceed. The first one on the docket at 2 o'clock settlement conference is Sarah Ortega. That's Mr. Luis Yanez.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, Judge. How are you?
Very good, sir. Tori Johansson, is he a defendant, Miss Becky and Mr. Rick? Tori Johansson?
Yes, Judge, he is. Yes.
Very good. I'm admitting him. Okay. We are on the record 2018-22-28, State of Texas versus Sarah Ortega. Announcement of counsel, please.
David Nunes for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
This is Janice on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Ortega, and we're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Very well. And are you going to waive Miss Ortega's presence, Mr. Yanez?
With the court's permission, Your Honor, yes.
Absolutely. No problem. Her presence is waived. This case is supposed to be dismissed as my notes on the docket. Is that true, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor, and it has been filed. It just got filed today, so it is in the court's file. So I just saw it on portal.
Well, it's in the file, but somebody has to send it to me. Can you send it to me?
Judge, you signed it.
I signed it?
Yes,
Oh
sir.
my God, I'm much more efficient than I thought I was.
Great.
There it is, Mr. Yanez. I think this is my first dismissal on Zoom. Is this your first
There you go. It's always nice to be the first one. I appreciate it, Judge.
That's awesome. Yes, yes. Okay, very good.
Judge, that's why I left it on the docket, because this was like 3 or 4 weeks ago that it was supposed to have been done and it wasn't. So
Mr.
it was
Nunez.
still pending.
Mr. Nunez, 3-4 weeks. Miss Becky's scolding you.
Yes, Your Honor. Duly noted.
He had sent it to me before, Judge. It was just an error from, I guess, both of us that we.
Okay, I want you to scold Mr. Yanez too, Miss Becky.
I'll take half of the scolding, Ms. Becky.
Okay,
For
Mr.
a
Yanez.
dismissal? For a dismissal?
I would, yeah,
Mr.
because her bonding company, they kept calling because they were like, she keeps saying it's dismissed. I said, well, not yet, not yet.
That's fine. Okay, well, good. A happy ending, everybody. Mr. Yanez, anything else, sir?
That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Nunez, in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You all may be excused. Goodbye. Have a good life. Mr. Yanez, stay safe. Urban Luna Vega. Mr. Wyatt. I think I let Mr. Wyatt in, but I don't know if it's Mr. Wyatt or Mr. Avelar.
Right here.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Wyatt, Judge. He is here.
Mr. Wyatt, how come I can't see you?
You should be able to, Judge. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Let me scroll to the, I want to see your, there you are, Mr. Wyatt. How are you, sir?
Please, please pardon my outfit, Judge. I can't fit into any dress clothes right now. I'm too fat.
I think that generally is a rule for all of us. I think we've partaken too much in alcohol and in food, right?
Oh, yes, 100%.
We're all with you. We're all with you. But Mr. Wyatt, this is the first time you participated on Zoom. It's nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you too, Your Honor.
Okay, let's take care of Mr. Irvin Luna Vega, 2017-2931. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Derek White on behalf of Mr. Luna, respectfully ready to proceed, Judge.
And Mr. Wyatt, do you waive Mr. Luna's presence?
I do waive his presence, Judge. I do have him in my office just in case the court needed him.
Perfect, beautiful. Okay, what is the offer to settle, Mr. Nunez? What's the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer is a 1244A, 2 years deferred, or 1244B, Your Honor.
Or what again? Tell me again.
1244B time served.
Well,
I'll have that one, Judge. We've been back and forth on this one. My client says he can take the misdemeanor. He can't take the misdemeanor because he's a resident. I think if we can get a stipulation during the plea that was under 30 grams, we may be able to do it. I need to confer with my client. And actually, Judge, my client is not here. I was thinking of a different client. Mr. Luna is not here at my office. I made a mistake on that.
okay, that's okay.
And I will talk to David, our DA.
Okay,
As my client, if my client can take the credit for time served with under a gram, or I'm sorry, under 30 grams stipulated on the record, then I think we can do that. I'll
Can we-
follow up with the DA, then follow up with the court.
Mr. Nunez, do you think you'll agree to that stipulation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Okay, so then let's set it up one more time for a settlement conference. Just to make sure that everybody's on board, you do what you have to do on your side, Mr. Wyatt, and then we'll set it up for a settlement conference in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Sound good?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Anything else on that one, Mr. Wyatt?
No, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Nunez?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. You all may be excused on that one. Mr. Wyatt, you have the next one, which is 2018-4951, Manuel Rivera. Mr. Rivera, I think you're present, right? I think I allowed you in. Mr. Rivera, are you there?
Manuel Rivera, Your Honor?
I think I let a Mr. Rivera in.
You let a Hector Rivera in, Judge.
Okay.
Yes, it's Hector Rivera.
Okay, sir, I got confused. I apologize, sir. May I have announcement of council in state of Texas versus Manuel Rivera, please?
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Derek White on behalf of Manuel Rivera, respectfully ready to proceed.
You want to waive Mr. Rivera's presence today too, Mr. Wyatt, on this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well, granted. What is the plea offer, Mr. Nunez?
Your Honor, the plea you offer right now is 2 years deferred probation, Your Honor.
2 years deferred? Okay, what
Yes,
else?
Your Honor. Pulling up the rest of the terms, Your Honor. It's 100 hours of community service, $500 fine, anger management, UABA, as well as a curfew.
Okay, that's a good start too, Mr. Wyatt. What are you thinking about that one?
Judge, David and I spoke earlier about this case, and there's some confusion as to exactly what the facts are. The police report says one thing, but then there's a statement from the baby mama that says something kind of different. And it's kind of something very material to the case. So I think David wants to talk to Ivan. He wants to talk to this witness and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, is the baby mama credible? You think?
Do I have to talk to her, Your Honor? I haven't reached out to her yet, or pre-trialed with her. However, Mr. Wyatt is correct. There is a little bit of discrepancy within the police report as well as the baby mama's statement. So I'd like to definitely look into that, Your Honor. But as it stands right now, I mean, we have a good record on the table. So.
Came to light today, Judge, when we went through the case pretty extensively.
Okay.
And I found this, and I was like, David, I see what you're saying, but baby mama has made a statement that kind of, ruins this whole thing. So you probably need to look into that.
Very well. Okay, I'll give you time for that. Why don't we set this up for another settlement conference in another 2 to 3 weeks? How's that?
Yes, Your Honor.
2 to 3 weeks. Work on it, you guys, and speak to baby. Will that give you enough time to speak to baby mama, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor. Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. 103, are you Mr. Herrera at 103? Last 3 digits. Can you mute, sir? Please, because I'm getting a little bit of feedback from you.
¿Quiere que lo ponga en mute?
Put it on mute, sir. Thank you. The next one is Fernando Contreras, 2017-3964. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Derek White on behalf of Fernando Contreras, respect the record, Judge.
Okay, now on this particular case, you want to waive Mr. Contreras' appearance today, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, ma'am, I will. I got confused earlier. This is actually the client that I've got here.
Good, okay, good. Now, this case has been set for trial 2 or 3 or 5 or 80,000 times.
We've had 2 mistrials, Judge.
Is that what happened? No wonder I remember so many. We got 2 mistrials in this case?
Mistrials.
We went back to back, Your Honor. If you recall, that was the one where the member of the panel waved her finger at the defendant.
Shame
Oh.
on you.
There was one on a
Thank
Friday,
you.
the lady waved her finger and kind of said some mean things about my client, and that got mistried because she yelled it in front of the jury. And then on Monday, the panel was run. So there were 2 back-to-back mistrials.
Okay. Is there anything we can do to work something out on this one, or is this really still going to have to be a trial one day?
Yes, Your Honor. I would have to definitely firmly say that it's definitely a trial case.
Oh, have you made any offers to settle that Mr. Wyatt has said no?
25 years, Your Honor. That's the minimum. So
Oh my God. So that's all you're going to offer? That's the best you can do, Mr. Nunez?
yes, Your Honor.
25?
I tried to talk him into probation, Your Honor. It's 5 counts. One of them is continuing sexual abuse. There are 2 victims. Both victims are on board. And in this particular circumstance, the defendant's son, who is also a Border Patrol agent, committed suicide as a result of this. So this case has a lot of drama in it, and I don't see how there's any way we're going to be able to resolve this.
You're kidding me? You committed suicide because of this? Really, Mr. Wyatt?
That's what it appears like, Your Honor. A couple of days after the accusations broke out, there was a suicide involving the defendant's son.
And he left a note that said that?
He did leave a note, Your Honor. I just can't recall off the top of my head what exactly it said. I do believe it was an apology letter, though.
Is it 25 years because the continuous part of it, or does he have an extensive
Honor.
record? Or?
Yes, the continuous part of it, Your Honor, and the victim under the age of 14.
Okay.
And in August of this year, my client will be 70 years old, Your Honor.
Wow. Now I remember. Now I remember the difference. Okay. Okay, Mr. Nunez.
Yes, Your Honor.
It looks like we probably won't try this case. If we try it by his 73rd birthday, I think we'll be doing great, honestly. The way jury trials are going. Is your complaining witness okay with that? Versus maybe a little better rec?
I'm pretty confident they are, Your Honor. We've had good contact with them throughout, so.
Okay, sir, I have to respect that. I'll respect that. Okay, it's on the trial docket. We're not going to have any more settings on this one. I just thought we'd give it one last try based on the pandemic, based on the fact that God knows when we're going to see another jury trial. I would have thought that maybe you could revisit this and hopefully enter into something.
And
But
Judge,
we
this was gonna be a special set, so do you want me to do a special set? Like, I know we're doing everything like January, February, right now. So do you want me to
Yeah.
like do a special set, April next year?
No, I want
No?
it this year. If
Huh?
we're gonna try a case, we're gonna try a 2017 case this year. Let's do October, November. Maybe by October or November, we'll be clear of this. Or maybe we'll be in the throes of another one. But let's do it this year, Ms. Becky. It's a 2017,
That judge down in Houston that did the first jury trial,
right?
and then her staff tested positive for the corona.
I heard that story.
So they're
I
quarantined.
heard that story. Her court coordinator. I did hear that story. Absolutely. Yeah.
Becky would make that sacrifice.
You what? Becky would make the sacrifice? Mr. Ivan, you're
I
funny.
don't think so. I'll be doing the charge from home.
Judge, but seriously, you know, if Mr. Wyatt talks with his clients and he's willing to do some amount of time other, you know, than probation, you know, he should let us know.
Okay. They will consider a counter time rec, Mr.
Yes, ma'am. I will
White.
discuss that with him today.
Discuss that. I think it's worth a try, but we're not going to get back on this case. We're just going to go ahead and put it on our list of trial.
When you say sometime, Ivan, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, that's between you and your client. I mean, you guys talk amongst yourselves and, you know, then David and I will talk, but I mean, I'm just saying his probation is as a non-starter. That's what I'm saying.
Will you guys take 2? I mean, the guy's turning 70.
Well, a reasonable amount of time, Derek.
That's what I'm saying. I've got to go talk to him and tell him something. Are you talking 2? Are you talking 5?
Well, talk. You guys talk and you guys figure out a number that you can live with and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Yeah. I think for a 70-year-old man, I don't know his health, but it could be a life sentence, even 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Could possibly be a life sentence, but it is worth something to come by. It's worth, even if you offer 2 years, Mr. Wyatt, it's something, and then let's see what the DAs do with that. But really, I don't think we're going to try a case this year, honestly. Honestly, I don't think so. But that's just my humble 2 cents worth opinion.
But set it in October and we're looking at a 2-week trial?
2 weeks? Who said 2 weeks, Ms.
No,
Becker?
I'm asking you.
I hope to God it's not 2 weeks.
I don't want to set it in November.
Becky, it's going to be 2 weeks just to pick a jury.
Yes.
Case. It'll be 2 weeks just to pick a jury in this sexual assault case.
Okay.
I think we need to do is at least set it for at least a week and a half, Becky. With
Okay. So
we're gonna have-
October, December.
October and then December. Yeah, I do it in October and then do it December.
Yeah, because, yeah, okay.
I think this is our oldest case on the criminal docket anyway. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. Anything else, sir, in this case?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Martinez, Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No,
No, you're right.
Thank you. All you may be excused. Mr. Wyatt, I think you're done, right? Mr. Wyatt, are you done?
Yes, ma'am.
With all your cases? Thank you, sir. It is a pleasure to see you. Please stay safe.
Pleasure's all on this side of the computer screen. Your
Judge Daniel Avelar has one. Is he gonna do his own?
Honor. I didn't know Danny had one. Let me.
Yeah, it's on page 8 and it's an Amanda Herrera.
I'll go get him right now.
Okay. No, but we're not going to jump him. No, we're not going to jump him. He's
Right,
not-
I just didn't know if Mr. Wyatt was gonna handle it.
Yeah, he'll wait his turn, Mr. Wyatt, okay? So you don't have to get him.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may be excused. The next one is Alfredo Kraft. It's Mr. Jaime Olivas. Court calls cause number 2019-2256. Alfredo Kraft, announcement of council, please.
David, do you
I'm
need
here.
to
Hi, Mr. Kraft.
Hello.
And Mr. Olivas, unmute, please. Mr. Jaime, you're not unmuting. Let me try to help you. Unmute, Mr. Jaime.
Okay,
There you
there.
go.
I'm Olivas for Alfredo Craft. Ready to
Mr. Olivas, I've seen your brother, but I've not seen you on Zoom. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Judge.
Good.
Hope-
Good, good. Do you see and recognize your client, Mr. Kraft, as the defendant in this case?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Kraft, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Olivas?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both parties have identified each other. Mr. Nunez, Can you give
Yes,
us a
Your Honor.
settlement that Mr. Olivas can't refuse?
Yes, Your Honor. The plea offer in this case is with the plea to the underlying DWI for a term of 24 months.
DWI, is it a, hang on a second, sir, is that a
Misdemeanor, yes, Your Honor.
a plea to a DWI misdemeanor what?
We will offer in this case a 1244A, Your Honor, to deferred 100 hours or $100 fine, 50 hours of community service, UABA curfew, or a 1244B time served rec.
Now, how much time does he have? What are you offering on the DWI misdemeanor?
It's 365 days probated for 24 months, Your Honor.
What do you think, Mr. Olivas?
Judge, I had previously requested a dismissal for the plea on the DW. I was not given a commitment either way. I'd like to explore it a little bit.
Of course, sir, of course. Yeah, you want a dismissal on the DWI and then he pleads to the possession? Is that what you're saying?
No. Dismissal on the possession, on the felony for the DWI probation 24-month term.
Okay. You're a little close. You've got some time to work on it. Would you consider a dismissal, Mr. Nunez, or not?
No, Your Honor. It's a Class A DWI, one of those types, and this is the best that it's going to get, Your Honor.
Okay. I think I'm going to give you a little bit more time to work on Mr. Nunez. Okay, Mr.
Thank-
Oliva? Let's
thank
set it
you.
up. Yes, sir. Let's set it up and then talk to your client, obviously, about what and which option. Let's set this up for another settlement conference in 2 to 3 weeks, Mr. Olivas.
Very well, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Olivas?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Kraft, for participating. It's nice to see you, sir. Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. The next one is Montanu. Did I pronounce that right, Mr. Huerta?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is it okay if I disconnect now?
Yes, sir. Yes, no worries, Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. You
Judge,
too.
Mr. Huerta can update you on this one, but I had kind of canceled it because they filed motions for psych evals.
That's my question. Did you file a psych eval or did you file a motion for comp? Because to me, that's two different things.
Oh, well, I put them down as motion for psych evaluations. I thought they were the same thing.
No, to me, they're not the same thing. Psych eval for him to be psychologically evaluated to mitigate punishment. Competency is, another story. Mr. Huerta, did you file a competency or did you file a psych eval?
Mr. Huerta's on mute.
Mr. Huerta, where are you?
Yeah, Judge, got it. Sorry about that. Judge, I filed them as a competency.
Okay.
Competency.
Okay, good. Okay, sir. Then we're going to go ahead and transfer it to competency court. Okay, sir?
Thank you, Judge.
We're going to transfer both to competency court. You didn't request for an insanity, did you? Or it was just competency?
Just competency, Judge.
Got it. Okay, sir. Okay. It'll be transferred to competency court immediately. Please, Miss Becky. Thank you. Then you have another one, Mr. Huerta, which is Carlos Murillo, 2019-2830. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Your Honor, privilege to be here. Jonathan H. Beck, on behalf of Carlos Murillo.
Mr. 103.
Judge, I didn't hear him, Judge.
I know. Can you please repeat that, Mr. Huerta?
Yes, Jonathan Huerta for Carlos Murillo.
He's fading out,
What?
Judge.
Judge,
Yeah.
103 is still causing that noise.
I know. 103, can you mute, please? Are you Mr. Herrera? Mr. 103, did he mute, Rick? I lost him on my screen.
No, he's not muted yet.
Okay, let's hurry up and try and finish with him, with you, Mr. Huerta. Mr. Huerta, Mr. 355, what is your name? Last 3 digits, 355, is it Mr. Herrera?
I believe that's Mr. Murillo, Judge.
Are you Mr. Murillo, Mr. Murillo, are you 355? Mr. Murillo,
I'm 103, no?
no, 3, okay, I don't know, sir. Who is, okay. 103, sir, are you Mr. Murillo?
Yo soy Mr. Murillo.
Okay, sir. Can you speak English, sir, or you can't speak English?
I do, but I prefer in Spanish.
Okay, sir. You had enough. You heard enough of Mr. Murillo, Mr. Huerta. Do you recognize that voice as Mr. Murillo's voice, the defendant in this case?
I do, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Murillo, do you recognize your attorney on the screen?
Sí, señora.
Okay, that says yes, ma'am. Okay. Mr. Nunez, what is your offer?
Your Honor, there's an underlying DWI that the defendant picked up after this in July. So what we offered for both of them to be resolved is with the plea to a lesser included offense of assault family violence. In this case, we would offer 5 years straight probation on the DWI.
Hang on. This is tough.
355 is still giving out the noise.
355. I'm going to mute you. 355. Can you mute yourself before I mute you? 355. What was his name, Rick?
Isn't that Mr. Murillo?
Your Honor, I don't think we got a name for 355. I think we only clarified.
103. Mr. 355.
My name is Hector Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, can you please get on mute? You know how to get on mute, Mr. Rivera?
Yeah, I thought I did, but then they said that I was on the line, so I didn't know if I touched it wrong.
Okay, go ahead and mute again, sir, please. 355, mute. I'm muting you. There you go. Okay. So what's the offer again, Mr. Nunez? I couldn't hear.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer to resolve both cases is if the defendant pleads to the lesser included offense of AFV, a misdemeanor. In this case, we would we would offer then in the DWI third, 5 years straight probation, 10 days ACOP, $500 fine, fully probated, 50 hours of community service, and all the other regular standard terms of DWI probation for felony third or more.
Okay, Mr. Huerta, what are you thinking?
Judge, if I may speak with my client, we are leaning towards clean, but I do want to be able to chat with him and show him his portal. Again, this underlying offense kind of just crept up on me. So I'd like to show him that, but there's a high chance of taking the offer.
The offer. Okay, sir. You're diligent, sir. I will trust that you will call Miss Becky. Do we need to set this up for another settlement conference, or just you will call Miss Becky?
I'll call Miss Becky, Judge.
Okay, okay. On this one, Becky, why don't you say give Mr. Huerta a week and then call him and see if he's going to please, so we can put him on the list. Okay, Miss Becky? Mr.
Okay,
Huerta,
Judge.
anything else, Mr. Huerta, on this one?
That is it, Judge.
Very well. Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You all may be excused. Have a great day. Mr. Huerta, I think we're done with you, right?
Your Honor, I have two more.
Then I guess the next one is, let me,
Hector Rivera.
Hector.
Page 8, Judge.
Thank you. 2019-3582, Hector Rivera, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Your Honor, Jonathan H. Huerta on behalf of Hector Rivera, ready, Your Honor.
Mr. Rivera, can you speak and say good afternoon? How is everybody today, please?
Judge, you had put him on mute. That's 355.
Unmute Mr. Rivera, please. I don't see 355, Rick.
He's still on mute.
Okay. Mr. Rivera, Mr. 355, Mr. Rivera, can you say good afternoon? How is everybody today? Mr. Rivera. Mr. Rivera, can you hear me? I have him on mute. I have him on mute. Mr. Rivera.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me as well?
Yes, sir. Were you able
Good
to?
afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Did you recognize that voice as your client in this case?
Yes. Hello?
Mr. Herrera?
Yes, my name is Hector Rivera.
I know, sir. I know what your name is now, sir.
Judge, you're going in and out and I can't hear you.
I know.
Yes, my name is Hector
Mr.
Rivera.
Rivera, are you at a restaurant, at a bar, working? Where are you, Mr. Rivera?
I'm outside.
I'm sorry?
I'm sitting outside.
Okay, sir, because we're having a hard time with you. Okay. Okay. Did you recognize that voice as being the defendant in this case, Mr. Huerta?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you see and recognize your attorney on the screen, Mr. Rivera?
I don't know how to use the phone like that.
Okay.
They gave me a number for me to call in. I don't know how to do that other stuff with the phone.
Okay. Mr. Huerta, I'm going to ask you to practice with Mr. if we have any more hearings so that he can participate appropriately, okay? Or we can waive his appearance.
If we could do that, Judge, I do recognize his voice, Your Honor. I've heard it many times.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Hector Rivera. My date of birth is 11/23/73.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rivera. I appreciate that information, sir. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Nunez, what's the offer in this?
The offer in this case is 2 TDC.
Okay, what are you thinking about that, Mr. Huerta?
Your Honor, given the fact that I do realize the time of trials at this moment scarce, but if I can speak with Mr. Nunez perhaps and get a mid-range patient.
I'll allow that. Yes, sir. Let's set this up for another settlement conference in about 3 weeks, Mr. Huerta, okay?
Okay.
Settlement conference, 3 weeks. Very good. Anything else in this case, Mr. Huerta?
That is it, Judge.
Mr. Nunez, anything else? Okay, Mr. Rivera, thank you for participating. You may leave, Mr. Rivera. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good afternoon.
You too, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, I am back at on page 6, which is
Page 6, Lucila Gomez.
thank you. Yes, page 6, Lucila Gomez, 2019-25-45. Lucila Gomez, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Mr. Morales, I think I allowed Mr.
Yes,
Morales.
he is here. He's on mute.
Mr. Morales.
I'm here, Judge.
There you are, announcer. Okay, Mr. Morales, you're here. You're there. Do you waive the presence of Ms. Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor. I do have communication with her. She just has I don't want to say an older lady, but she has a little trouble with the technology. But I do have contact with her.
Don't say older lady in front of this judge, please.
I'm not
You
making
treaded
any
very
judgment
lightly.
about it.
You tread very lightly, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, Mr. Nunez, what are we talking about? What offer?
Your Honor, the offer on portal as it stands is 10 years deferred probation, a family violence finding.
Is that you, Mr. Morales?
I don't know, Judge. It might be. I'm actually on 2 Zoom calls right now.
Okay,
So,
so can you mute then while we're hearing, because and then unmute when you're, because it's distracting.
I've sort of turned it down, Judge, if anything.
Okay. So tell me 10 years deferred again, Mr. Nunez, please.
Yes, Your Honor. 10 years deferred probation, family violence finding, $100 to the family violence fund, 200 hours of community service, $500 fine, fully probated, UABA, as well as a curfew. I will be willing to reduce it, however, to 2 deferred.
2 deferred. Okay, that's good, Mr. Morales. What are you thinking on that one? That's a good reduction.
Judge, we've kind of been round and round about this case. This is an older couple. The complainant are husband and wife. They still live together. There was evidence of mutual combat in this kind of thing. There was some evidence that the husband pulled a knife on his wife. His wife gave him some escobazos, as it were, and that was kind of how we tried to do this by a Wednesday trial. And then Ivan wanted to look into excited utterances, and then we wanted to do other things, and now we're back to the same wreck as when we started. And I don't know, Judge, I can beat this at trial. So I think we just said it.
Okay. Mr. Nunez, Mr. Martinez, you have anything to say? Any comments on what Mr. Morales said? This is just a bunch of, what did you say? Cavazos?
Escobazos, Judge.
Escobazos! That's with a broom! Escoba!
Yes, no, I remember this one, right. Actually, we dealt with this, I guess, a few weeks ago. The issue was the excited utterances, whether the statements that were made to the police were excited utterances. I believe that was the issue, right, Mr. Morales? That we've talked about.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was part of it, Ivan.
Did I say it was an excited utterance, or what did I say?
No, we were going to have a hearing, and then you were going to listen to the testimony of the officers and determine whether or not you felt it was excited or not.
Okay, so we'll just call it it'll be an evidentiary hearing, right? Because we're going to determine whether the
something like that, I guess, Judge.
Comes in. Okay, Ms. Becky, we need to do that in 2 or 3 weeks. Just call it evidentiary hearing regarding excited utterance. So that's
right, because the complainant judge doesn't want to proceed. He's already signed a non-pros. He doesn't want to participate. So that's where they are.
It's a bunch of escobazos between 2 old married people, right?
Judge, that's why we're offering the rec that we are. I mean,
escobazos.
Escobazos, I know. No. Okay. I understand, Mr. Martinez. I do, but okay. Let's see if the excited utterance will resolve this case or not. That determination. Okay, Mr. Morales, you'll get.
How long is it going to take, Judge?
I think no more than an hour, right, gentlemen? 1 hour for this hearing?
No more than an hour. I mean, maybe just work out the kinks of this type of Zoom hearing. I don't know. It may take a little bit longer.
There's not going to be any kinks. What you're going to do is you can email me at the time of the hearing. You can email me the 911 call or whatever.
I apologize, Judge. I'm kind of between a couple of hearings right now, between you and another one. So I'm trying to wrap this one up, but I'm almost done.
Well, I'm more important than that other one, Mr. Morales. That's all I have to say.
Right, and you bring up a good point, Judge, about the.
I'm trying to keep Judge Rangel from chewing me out too, Judge. So I'll be right back.
I just appreciate that.
All right.
I think there is a 911 call as well, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I remember right, and so I think you're right. I mean, we could.
I've heard.
If I remember right, the issue was you wanted to know how quickly the police got there after being dispatched that they arrived at the scene.
I remember.
Right, and I said according to the CAD report, it was like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I remember that.
Right. So what I could do is I could submit the CAD report and the 911 to you and Mr. Morales, right? So you could just have that ahead of time, right?
I'll just let you know, Ivan, the 911 is my client.
Okay, maybe I'm getting confused. Is there another case, Lenny, where we were talking about this?
No, not that I know.
There is a case like that pertaining to that. I'm confused too because I think it might be another case, but this is I don't believe it's the one with the.
Okay, well let's take a look at it. Just before anything is scheduled, Mr. Nunez and I will take a look at the case just to make sure we're all on the same page here, and then we'll email you.
Another hearing. I'm going to set this up for a evidentiary hearing. And you guys can figure out how you guys agree to give me the evidence. At the time of the hearing, you guys can just email it to me. Mr. Morales, what are you doing over there?
Judge, I'm between 2 hearings right now, Judge. I apologize.
That's not very nice.
I'm sorry, Judge. Judge Salas is not being very patient with me right now, Judge. Judge Leonard Morales on behalf of Zachary Zamora. I'm wrapping up this other hearing, Judge, as we speak. If I could have just a moment, I should be ready to go. Okay, Judge, I guess we can wrap this up. I mean, I'm ready for an evidentiary hearing, Judge. We can do it that way.
Let's just do that. I don't want another hearing, Mr. Ivan, okay? Mr. Martinez?
Well, no, I agree, Your Honor. I agree. I just want to make sure that it's got to be the same case that Mr. Morales and I have been talking about all this time. So whatever
we have
evidence,
been talking about one for quite a while. Yes.
Right. So whatever evidence I plan on introducing, I'll submit copies to both you and Mr. Morales ahead of time, and then.
It is right. This is an evidentiary hearing. Becky's going to send you Zoom instructions, rules. If indeed it is a large piece of document, if it is a large that cannot be emailed, I have a Dropbox link that you will send it to me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's how we're going to handle these substantive hearings. Okay?
Very good, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
3 weeks. Anything else, Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Morales? Thank you very much.
No, Judge. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next one is on page 7. We've got Mr. Borrego. Alexis, is it Alex? Orona Borrego. Remember, my printer's kind of going out. 2000, I think Cristina Montes is on. 2019-3407. Alexis Orona Borrego or Borrego Orona. Announcement of council, please.
Yes, Alexis Orona Borrego.
Mr. Borrego, thank you for being there, sir.
How you doing, ma'am? How you doing, Your Honor?
Good, sir. I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
Good, good.
Good, sir. Good. Ms. Montes, are you there?
I am, Your Honor.
Did you recognize your client as client's voice as the defendant in this case? Ms.
I
Montes?
did.
And Mr. Orona Borrego, do you see and recognize your attorney on the screen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let the record reflect that both have identified each other. Okay, talk to me about this one, Mr. Nunez.
Yes, Your Honor. The recommendation is the option of either a 1244A, 2 deferred, $500 fine, drug counseling, 100 hours of community service, UABA curfew, or a 1244B time served.
What are you thinking, Ms. Montes?
Judge, we filed a motion to suppress in this case. It was hand delivered to Mr. Martinez. He was going to review it, but if we can set the motion to suppress for a hearing, that'd be great.
Okay, so we're going to do an MTS first.
Yes.
Okay, is that going to affect the offers, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor. MTS does go through. We will be taking this recommendation off the table.
Both of them? Either 1244A?
Yes,
okay. Okay, Ms. Montes, you understand that?
Yes, understood.
Very good. Then we'll set this in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever we can handle it, okay?
That'll work.
Becky, let's do an MTS. How long? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? How long?
I'm thinking at least 2 hours, Judge, if possible.
Now, is it just going to be the testimony of police officers and possibly the defendant, Ms. Montes?
And his wife.
And the wife, okay. What about you, Mr. Nunez?
Probably just the right as of right now, as it stands, Your Honor, just the officers.
Okay, we can handle that on Zoom. That's why I'm asking. That can be handled by Zoom very well. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, everybody, so you can give notice to everybody. Okay, what else? Ms. Montes, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Orona Borrego, thank you for being here today, sir. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
You have a wonderful day too, sir. Stay safe out there. Thank you, sir. Okay, the next one is Juan Acosta. We've got 4 cases on Juan Acosta, 2018-3858, 2019-4033, 4816, and 2019-6190. The state of Texas versus Juan Acosta. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Veronica Teresa Lerma, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Juan Acosta. We are ready.
Very good. Okay, now what are we looking at? An offer that Ms. Lerma can't refuse, please. Oh, first, Ms. Lerma, do you waive the appearance of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Nunez. What
Yes,
offer?
Your Honor. The offer is 5 TDC and then 2 years state jail on the state jail felonies.
To run concurrent, right, Mr. Nunez?
Absolutely.
So Judge, this was the same offer that we received at our last hearing. It was a bond hearing, I believe, right before this whole COVID thing started. And I had relayed that to Mr. Acosta, and he was going to take it. We were going to set it for a plea. So I think I'd be safe if I can just go visit him, confirm he's okay with this. And then if I can call Ms. Gonzalez and ask her to set it for a plea, I think that would be better than resetting it for another status hearing.
Okay, and when you go though, Ms. Lerma, to kind of expedite this whole process of pleading somebody in jail, Mr. Nunez, would it be too much trouble to email her the plea papers? So if he says yes, she can explain them there and hopefully they'll accommodate you and get them signed.
That'd be great. And I can only, and that way I can only go once, because trying to get to the annex with 2 small kids, I either go really early or really late at night.
I understand that. So to expedite this thing, Mr. Nunez, can you do the paper? Well, you don't know what they're going to accept though, right?
But I know we had talked already about 5 TDC.
Okay.
So he's aware of that. It hasn't changed unless Mr. Nunez goes to 4 or 3, but he's
put the 5. Yeah, put the 5. Okay. Okay. So please prepare the plea papers quickly. Mr. Nunez, email them to Ms. Lerma before she goes to the jail so we can expedite this plea. Yes?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. What else, Ms. Lerma? Anything else?
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You all may be excused. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Rudy Aude. Is Rudy Aude there? That's public defender. At this time, court calls cause number 2019-3080. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Felix Castañón for Mr. Ari, and he is here, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Ari, are you here present in our?
Yes, ma'am.
Here you are. Mr. Ari, how are you today, sir?
I'm very good. How about yourself?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Mr. Ari, do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Castañón, on the screen? Wave again, Mr. Castañón, so he can see you. Do you see him now?
Not at the moment. I did just a minute ago.
Mr. Castañón, speak. Speak, Mr. Castañón.
Mr. Ari, I'm right here and
Hello.
waving at you.
Okay, so you recognize him as your attorney, Mr. Ari, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Castañón, do you see and recognize Mr. Ari as the defendant in this case and your client?
I do, Your Honor. He's very dapperly dressed there.
Okay, very, very nicely dressed. He's dressed nicer than some attorneys on these Zoom hearings, trust me.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ari, you look very nice and respectable, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Respecting all. Okay, now, Mr. Nunez, what do we have in Mr. Ari's case?
The recommendation right now, Your Honor, is 10 years deferred probation, anger management, parenting classes, 100 hours of community service, $500 fine, no offensive contact with the complaining witnesses, UABA, as well as a curfew, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Castañón, what are you thinking?
Judge, this was a case where we had wanted some CPS records, and then Mr. Nunez had tried to obtain them, and then for some reason CPS wasn't turning them over. And I understand, because I guess I've had this where the local office says they have to go through Austin, and so it is a bit of work there. But then the last time we had a setting, Mr. Martinez was covering because Mr. Nunez was vacationing, and so Mr. Martinez said that, I guess his notes indicated that he had received them, but he thought that maybe the records were just sitting at the DA's office. And so we've gone twice, including this morning, to look for them, and they're not there. So I don't know if we looked under my name, we looked under Mr. Ari's name, and so I wasn't able to obtain those CPS records to review, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I just got with my clerk on that, and we do have them. And what happened, I guess, why the confusion happened was because there was a different business records affidavit for those records. So what I can do is I've requested an entirely new set of CPS records. That way, whoever the custodian of records is can authenticate those records, Your Honor. But in the meantime, I can turn over the records that we do have already that have the other business records affidavit attached to it. I'm doing the whole other process of requiring a new set just out of an abundance of caution. That way there's no confusion as to what's being authenticated in terms of that, Your Honor. So that's basically a status update on that matter, Your Honor.
And even with two different business records affidavits, is what I'm hearing, with two different affidavits, is it the same records?
Yes, Your Honor. They should be the same records. What I will get will be the same copy. It's just with the correct business affidavit attached to that one.
Okay, so
I know that
Mr. Castañón, you're going to be getting a copy, I hope soon, of the correct records, but just the incorrect business records affidavit.
That's correct, Your Honor, and I appreciate that. And I also would like to apologize to Mr. Nunez. He called me earlier, but I had left my phone in the car because I was at the annex and we're not allowed to take our phones because someone like Mr. Martinez would charge me with a felony, and
I tell you, I agree with you, Mr. Castañón. Yeesh.
Yeah, he's a stickler for the rules. So.
He is, yes. Yes, I am. Okay, so when and how can Mr. Castañón go pick up the records with the wrong business affidavit?
Well, Your Honor, I just really have to just get with my clerk, and then they can deliver it to him on the 5th floor if he's there. I don't know if he is, but
we do have a receptionist there.
I'm sorry?
We have a receptionist there.
Okay, then I guess we can make it happen like that, Your Honor. You're gonna have them delivered to him?
Good, so it's gonna be delivered at your office today, tomorrow, Mr. Castañón.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, David.
Okay, so then, do we need to set this up for another settlement conference, or what do we do?
I think so, Your Honor. I mean, I'd like to review them, and then after that, just meet with David beforehand, and then see what we can work out.
Are they pretty extensive records, Mr. Nunez? Do I need to give Mr. Castañón a long time to review these, or what?
To be honest, Your Honor, I have no idea.
Okay, I'm gonna set this up for 2-3 week settlement conference. If you need more time, Mr. Castañón, let me know, and we'll set it up if they're extensive.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll let Becky know.
Okay, about 3 weeks. Thank you. Anything
Yes,
else,
Your Honor.
Mr. Castañón?
That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ari, thank you so much for participating. I really appreciate.
Thank you. God bless you all. Be careful.
God bless you.
Thank you,
and
sir.
Safe and be careful too, Mr. Ari, please.
Thank you.
Okay, did you have another one, Mr. Castañón?
I did, Your Honor. I had Arturo Zarzosa.
Zarzosa, 2019-3495, Arturo Zarzosa. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. Stage is ready.
Felix Castellon for Mr. Zarzosa. We're ready, Your Honor.
And do you waive Mr. Zarzosa's presence today?
Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Ari, you can sign off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ari. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sir. So what's the offer, Zarzosa, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer on the table is either a 1244A, 2 years deferred, $500 fine, 100 hours of community service, theft counseling, UABA curfew, or a 1244B time served.
Okay, Mr. Castañón?
Your Honor, in this case, we have provided the ADA a document, I guess, but I'll follow up with him to see if he got that witness statement. But as far as the 1244B, I'll run that by my client. I mean, that may be something he might want to take.
Is this the car rental situation?
No, it's one where he was pulled over on a motorcycle, and then the motorcycle ended up being reported stolen from Oklahoma or somewhere. And my client says that he borrowed it from a guy in Midland, and he got a statement from that guy.
Okay.
But it may be worth his trouble to take the 1244B or
time served. Can I set this up again in about 3-4 week settlement conference, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Please.
Second, be settled. 3-4 week settlement conference, please, on Mr. Zarzosa, Miss Becky. Your next one, Mr. Castañón?
Your Honor, the next one is a Sapphire Duby, or Dubai, Duby.
Sapphire DUBY, yes. At this time, court calls cause number 2019-6571. Sapphire Doobie, announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. Stage is ready.
Felix Castillon for Miss Duby, ready, Your Honor.
And you waive her appearance today, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Bonded out in Midland. She's in Midland, Texas. And she bonded out with some bail bonds. Borderland, I think, bail bonds.
In Midland, Texas, Judge, they're attached to one call bail bonds that's here. So I send it to one call bail bonds here.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so what are we looking at in this particular case, Mr. Nunez, an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer on the table is 5 years deferred probation, anger management, 200 hours of community service, a $500 fine, 30 days ACOP, UABA curfew, and a no contact provision with the complaining witness, Your Honor. And then any restitution to be determined.
Okay. Why 30 days ACOP?
Your Honor, this is a case where there's a co-defendant to this case, and it's actually Brenda Sanchez, Your Honor, who's being represented by Fernie Chacon.
Is Brenda Sanchez in my court?
Yes, Your Honor. And what happens is basically the complaining witness is basically dating Brenda Sanchez's, the father of their child. And
wait. The complaining witness is dating Brenda Sanchez's father?
yes, but they are completely separate. And from what I understand is
What do you mean they're completely separate?
they're separated. The father of their son and the defendant, Brenda Sanchez, or the co-defendant, Brenda Sanchez, are separated. And it come to find out, Your Honor, from what I understand is Brenda Sanchez has also lost custody of the children to the father. So the complaining witness in these cases and Brenda Sanchez, the father of her children, are taking care of all the kids, basically. That being said, obviously there's a dispute and there's a little bit of jealousy involved from what I understand. And they basically take it upon themselves to, between these two co-defendants and the complaining witness in this case.
Jealousy between the complaining witness.
No, I'm sorry, between Brenda Sanchez, this defendant, against the complaining witness for dating the gentleman in this case, involved in this case, the father of.
Back up a little bit. I didn't understand one fact in that fact pattern, not one. Okay, so the complaining witnesses, don't give relationships yet. Let's give names. Complaining witness is who?
Her name is Belém Pacheco.
Okay, she's the complaining witness. We have two co-defendants, Brenda Sanchez and Sapphire Doobie.
Yes, Your Honor.
Co-defendants. Okay, so what did Doobie and Sanchez do against Pacheco?
They basically jumped her and used the allegation for the deadly weapon is they used brass knuckles on her, Your Honor, and they split open her head and causing blood basically to run down her head.
Okay, so they kind of gang attacked her. Brenda Doobie attacked poor Belen, allegedly. Okay, now the dynamics. Give me the dynamics.
So Alan Montes, Your Honor, that's the gentleman involved in this case.
Who?
Alan Montes.
And he's nothing. He's just the lover of everybody.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Former lover of Brenda Sanchez and current.
Alan who?
Montes, Your Honor. Montes.
So he dated Brenda Sanchez. He's Brenda Sanchez's ex.
Correct, Your Honor.
And he's Doobie's present.
No. He's Belém's present, Your Honor.
Okay. So that's why that's why Brenda maybe attacked Belém, if that's her name, because she has her boyfriend now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, That's all I need to know. It's a chisme triangle pot. Right?
Basically.
So the offer, well, first of all, Miss Becky, can we put Brenda Sanchez on the same track as Miss Doobie? So that way we can try to deal with them. What did you offer Miss Sanchez, Mr. Nunez?
The exact same thing, Your Honor.
Okay. What's Miss Sanchez's cause number for Becky? Does somebody have that? Do you have it, Mr. Nunez?
I don't, Your Honor.
Don't. Okay.
I'll look it up, Judge.
Okay, Becky, please, let's put them together, but you've offered the same. And 30 days ACOP because of the brass knuckle issue.
Yes, Your Honor. And just like basically the overall nature of just ganging up on her and beating her up.
Was Miss Pacheco hurt badly?
She has a big laceration on the top of her scalp, Your Honor, on top of that one right here.
Okay, well, it sounds like a pretty good deal, Mr. Castañon, if it's brass knuckles and they did it. Right? What do you think?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll talk to Ms. Doobie, and then I'll get with David, and then I'll let him know. I'll check with Fernie, see where he's at, but I mean, I'll see what my client's saying about the offer, and then especially given the fact I need to see where she's at. If she's here in Midland, I mean, she's in El Paso or Midland.
Okay, Miss Becky, have we had a settlement conference on Miss Sanchez?
Yes, she came up first.
What did Mr. Chacon do or say about that case? Is he gonna fight it, or is he gonna, do you remember, Mr. Nunez?
Your Honor, he basically played the whole chisme role as well. They said that this whole story was chisme, but as I dig more into it, Your Honor, I do believe my complaining witness, she seems very honest. She says, I never picked on her. I never tried to rub it in her face that I'm dating this man. She's like, that Brenda Sanchez basically has come onto her and has been really vengeful towards her for dating her ex. And Sapphire Doobie is just her friend who just is mad as well. And she's actually, I believe, one of the cousins of someone in that's involved here. I can't remember who, but I believe it might be Alan Montes. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, and Doobie's loyal to Sanchez, her friend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she'll use brass knuckles and beat up anybody that she thinks harmed her friend. Okay. Okay.
On Mr. Chacon's case, it was at the judges' conference on May 21st, and you put to do settlement conference in 45 days, which I have set for July 16th at 2 o'clock.
Okay, let's
at 1 o'clock.
Let's set Miss Doobie up for the same day.
Okay.
Right? So that way we can both and deal with them both equally.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please. Okay. Okay, you all may be excused. Anything else, Mr. Castañon, in this case?
That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Nunez.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You all may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're done,
You too, Your Honor.
Castañon, right? Mr. Rick?
I think so, Your Honor. Mr. Vasquez has the rest.
Okay, I think I finished on page 8 with Johansson, right, Mr. Rick?
Yes.
At this time, court calls cause number 2019-7205, State of Texas versus Tori Jean Johansson. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the Your Honor. State is ready.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Johansson, we are ready.
And Mr. Johansson was present in your office, or was that somebody else I saw?
That was Wes Novodomsky.
Oh, okay, sir. So do you waive Mr. Johansson's presence here today?
I'm here, Judge. He's on the screen.
Oh, there you are. Mr. Johansson, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. And yourself, ma'am?
Good, sir. Thank you for being here today. Do you see and recognize your attorney, Mr. Huffman, in this
I
case?
do.
Mr.
I do.
And Mr. Huffman, do you see and recognize your client as the defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Let the record reflect that both have identified each other. Okay, Mr. Nunez, give us an offer in this one.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer in this case is 10 years TDC probated for 5 years, 10 days ACOP, $500 fine, 100 hours of community service, and all the regular terms and conditions for DWI 3rd, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Hoffman, it's probation. What are you thinking? That's good.
Right, Judge. Well, that's been the original offer, and Mr. Johansson was in jail for a while, and that offer came up, and we talked about it. So that would have gotten him out of jail, but he's very hesitant on taking it. He's got 3 degrees, Judge, and he's military. He's an honorable discharge from the military. I could use 15 minutes to make my best case for mitigation to Mr. Nunez. I think we have another judges conference on July 9th. So I would ask the courts to punt to July 9th. And then at that point, I think we'll have an idea whether or not it's going to plea or go to trial.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you, sir. First of all, Mr. Johansson, thank you for serving our. I greatly appreciate that. We all appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to kind of help this thing along, did Mr. Johansson blow Mr. Nunez or Mr. Huffman?
He did blow.
Okay, was it a bad blow?
It's not close to the 0.08, Judge, but it's not outrageous now.
What is it?
0.149 slash 0.150, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, not too good. Not okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some time, Mr. Huffman. I will
thank
give you some time to kind of convince Mr. Nunez, right? Because it started off, it's not a bad deal at probation, right?
Right, sure.
Try to convince Mr. Nunez of something better, different, lower.
I'll butter up Mr. Nunez. You know, I just need like 15
You
minutes.
do whatever you need to do. He likes comments about his stash, Mr. Huffman, if you want any words of advice.
I'm digging the stash. I definitely dig it.
Stash, I think that's a good start.
It does look pretty good.
Sorry.
There's Mr. Johansson. He's getting in. Mr. Johansson, you're funny. You're a funny guy, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? We're going to set this up in about 3 weeks, Mr. Huffman, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Anything else, Mr. Nunez?
No, Your Honor.
You're not going to thank him for telling you they have a great stash?
Thank you, gentlemen.
I sincerely mean it too, Judge.
I know that, Mr. Huffman. Thank you, Mr. Huffman. You may be excused. Have a great day, Mr. Johansson, for being here. Appreciate it. The next one is Angel Romero, public defender. Is that you, Mr. Huffman?
Yes.
Okay, court calls cause number 2019-3416, 2019-3555, and that's one of counsel, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Rene Vasquez for the defense.
Okay. Are you waiving Mr. Ramos's presence? Mr. Vasquez? Mr. Vasquez, can you hear me, sir?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
I do
okay.
waive his presence, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I'm having problems again with the connection. It was fine all day. It fine all day, and now it's
I'm sorry, Vasquez. That happens. That happens. It's bad. Okay. Okay, Mr. Nunez, what's the plea offer in this case?
Your Honor, I think this one was supposed to be set up the Wednesday trial.
Been fine all day.
I understand him, Judge.
I know that. Trust me, I can't either. He sounds like he has a bad stomach ache. He's howling and growling. Mr. Vasquez, repeat again.
Yes, Judge, that is correct. This case was supposed to be a Wednesday trial, Judge.
Okay, so can we set it up for a Wednesday trial? We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do Wednesday trials now. And I guess what we're gonna have to do, as I'm thinking out loud, we're gonna have to wait till in-person hearings are allowed. And once the courthouse opens completely, we'll set it up for a Wednesday and you just subpoena her, Mr. Nunez, okay? We won't set up so many at a time. We'll just do one at a time. We'll follow social distancing and do all that we have to do. Does that sound good, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez, that sounds good as well, right? Yes, okay. Miss Becky,
That's perfect, Judge.
can we start a new list for Wednesday trials?
Yes.
Please, Miss Becky, this will be the first one, I think. I don't think we have any Wednesday trials set. They'll be set when we do start doing in-person hearings.
I already have a list, Judge, and I didn't put that on the list, so I don't know that we had it because I went off my dockets. And on both the lists that I have, because I have to merge one with the other. Wednesday trial settings. I didn't have these case numbers on there.
Okay, let's put these on there too.
Okay.
That'll take care of that, okay? Mr. Nunez, anything else in these cases?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Vasquez? Anything else, Mr. Vasquez? Mr. Vasquez, can you talk?
I
Mr.
think we may have.
Frozen. I think Mr. Vasquez was frozen. Okay. Mr. Vasquez, your internet is so bad, you may have to get.
No, Your Honor.
You may have to get to the office because your internet.
Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, now I can. Now, just, we're not on the record, Miss Becky, okay? Mr. Vasquez, where are you? He disappeared. There you go. Mr. Vasquez, can you come back?
I don't know what happened. It just went off.
Okay, sir. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. This Horace Lee Thompson, this was a very painful thread of emails, Mr. Nunez.
So I hate myself for that.
Very painful thread of emails, but I'm going to sign one that says no offensive contact, Mr. Nunez, right?
Go for it, Judge. I'm okay with that.
I want to check to make sure. I think I got the email this morning, but
that's the one we need.
Right. I'll get to it today, Mr. Vasquez. Thank you. I just told him how painful. I just told him how painful it was. Did you hear that, Mr. Vasquez?
It was very painful.
As soon as you pointed that out, I just facepalmed myself. I was like, "Come on, David."
My God, I know. That's okay. I have those moments as well. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. You may be excused. Mr. Vasquez, did you have another one?
Well, Judge, there's another one set for today. It says Ramon Torres.
Ramon Rios?
That's the one supposed to have an outstanding KPS, but I left it there just so that you'll know that's why he was still on the docket.
KPS has been signed, right?
Yes,
Judge.
So why is it on the docket, Miss Becky?
I left it just so that, because I didn't cancel it out, just so that Mr. Vasquez would know that it was still on the docket for the case.
For the what, Becky? Becky, you muted.
It was a settlement conference, and I didn't have a chance to cancel it, but I put in the notes that the KPS was signed, but just so that Mr. Vasquez will know that it wasn't going to be a hearing.
What does it say sent back to BC? What does that mean, Ms. Becky?
To the bonding company, Judge, I sent back the surrender, the order, and the warrant back to the bonding companies.
So we don't have to do anything in this case, Mr. Vasquez.
No.
Right, Mr. Vasquez?
Yeah, nothing, Judge.
Okay, we're good.
No, nothing, Judge.
You
Thank
may
you,
be
Judge.
excused. Thank you. Thank you. The next one is Amanda Herrera. That's Mr. Avelar. Court code number 2019-3676. Amanda Herrera. Announcement of council, please.
David Nunez for the state, Your Honor. State is ready.
Daniel Avelar for Amanda Herrera.
Good. And she's there, right?
Present, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. So, Mr. Nunez, what are we talking about in this case, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer is 5 years deferred probation, anger management, $500 fine, 100 hours of community service, family violence finding, $100 to the family violence fund, a deadly weapon finding to wit a motor vehicle, UABA, as well as a curfew, Your Honor.
What do you think, Mr. Avelar?
No, ma'am, I'm not exactly jumping up and down for joy.
You're not on board. Okay.
It might be, at the risk of getting ahead of myself, this might be a Wednesday situation.
Is it, Mr. Nunez?
No, Your Honor, I have pre-trial with this complaining witness, and he has come into our office, and we have had contact with him, Your Honor.
Okay. So his complaining witness is a boyfriend or an ex-boyfriend or a...
Yes, sir.
An ex-boyfriend. They have nothing to do with each other anymore.
Other anymore, thank God.
Yes, ma'am, actually.
Okay. And he does want to prosecute Mr. Nunez, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. There it is. So then, Mr. Avelar, what are you thinking now? This is not a...
We shall see him in court, I guess.
Okay. You don't want to think of a counter, maybe?
I think worst case scenario, Judge, I might be looking, I mean, look, our client has no priors
Okay.
at all. And this was, and I don't know if the court remembers, I like to dub this case the drama case.
Okay.
More drama than anything else.
But there's also drama always. Tell me this drama.
Always, Judge. So they're mad at each other. I don't know whether they were at Peter Piper. It's not like they were partying at a bar or anything. They're at Peter Piper with the kids. Something comes up and they start chasing one another down the street on Montana. And so it turns out the allegation is that my client's car hits his car.
Okay.
It probably would have otherwise been a motor vehicle accident because there was no intention to do that.
Oh, okay.
No alcohol involved, nothing like that. We have insurance.
Okay.
I think it was just it was something that just got out. It shouldn't have happened.
It got out of hand. It got out of
Got
hand.
out
But
of
there's
hand.
no alcohol to enhance it. Okay.
Nothing like
Okay, Mr. Nunez, what I'm thinking is you may not be able to, well, how fast were they going? Was it a fast chase?
I believe
No,
it was
so they were
up airway, Your Honor.
It was
So
what?
up airway.
It was up there because they were I don't know where they were at exactly, but yes, that's correct. They were near Airway in Montana.
You said Peter Piper.
Right. And so when I think the allegation is when they were turning, then there was like a failure to control, and then that's where the accident happened. They were turning onto a street.
What makes me very unhappy is I bet you there were probably kids in the car. They were coming back from Peter Piper. And the kids were watching this ridiculous, horrible behavior. Right, Mr. Avila?
Correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, Your Honor. The kids were in the car, Your Honor. The victim, when he spoke with police officers, did state that the defendant told him that if he did not stop his vehicle, because she was trying to get him to stop, that she was going to ram into it. And she did, Your Honor.
Okay.
With the children in the vehicle. He also noted that he said that the children were yelling at and crying out for the defendant to stop.
Okay.
Wait, so these statements were made when and where?
What do you mean
Because
they're all-
well, because if the kids are my client, where were the kids?
I'm reading from the report. Victim 1 advised that while she struck his vehicle, he heard the defendant's children, who were also occupants of the vehicle, yelling and crying out for defendant to stop. CW then advised that he ended the phone call with defendant and called for police.
I think with that specific allegation, Your Honor, with all due respect to Mr. Nunez, we're denying those allegations, and it kind of makes sense. The vehicles, the children were in our vehicle. So I don't know where he's getting that from, and there was no telephone conversation.
Well, this here says the opposite, Your Honor. This says that there was a conversation, and which is exactly what the whole report says. This is since day one. They've been on the telephone.
As you know, Mr. Avila, this is what I'm picturing. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
picturing that they're not on the phone because it's a high-speed chase. And so your client is talking to the complaining witness from an open window in a car, saying, stop, stop, you better stop now. And then he can hear the kids inside the car screaming to her to stop. That's how I envisioned it when Mr. Nunez spoke. It wasn't necessarily by phone. It was a roll down the window kind of thing. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just making this up.
Right. No, I think that is incorrect, Your Honor.
It is wrong? Okay. I just
Yes,
assumed
Your
that.
And that's the thing, Judge. So given these facts, no injuries, thank goodness, right? No priors, things like that. I mean, David, you want to do a misdemeanor deferred?
No, I won't do that right now.
All right.
What about a regular assault? I can't do that on that. I won't offer that, Your Honor.
Okay. That's
okay. Okay.
my shot.
Yes, you tried it. You tried it. Do you think we just need to put this on a trial docket, Mr. Avelar? Because is it going to waste anybody's time having another settlement conference, maybe?
No, I think the district attorney's office that's been their offer for quite some time.
Okay, so
And
we're done. We're done. We'll put it on the trial. We'll put
Please.
it to be tried. Whenever that is, okay?
yes, ma'am.
Very
Right.
well, Ms. Becky. No more settings on this one. It's going to be put on the trial, jury trial.
Okay, Judge.
Okay, what else? Anything else, Mr. Avelar? Anything else in this case?
I think that's it. I think Derek handled the other matters, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He did. Mr.
Thank you.
Nunez, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
Okay, good to see you all. Take care, David.
Nice to see you, Mr. Avelar. Take care.
Yeah.
The next one is Lucia Shaw. Miss Becky, Miss Sullivan's not.
It's Lucian Shaw. Did you say Lucia or Lucian?
I said Lucia.
Okay, it's Lucian. It's a gentleman.
But
That's
Miss-
yeah, Miss Sullivan's on vacation.
So did we
Good.
reset this or what?
Yes, I'm gonna reset it.
Okay.
And we let the defendant already know too.
Got it. Reset. Okay, I think we're done then, right?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Rick, we're done, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get off the recording. Let me get off everything. Do you want to stop recording? Yes, let's get off of YouTube.